Welcome to Reds Focus LFC fans. Today we bring you the top 4 breaking Liverpool news headlines.
Mohamed Salah sparks a huge moment for Liverpool. Big opinions, major transfers, and Premier League drama. Don't miss a second. Subscribe now for daily Liverpool and football updates. Mohamed Salah has provided Liverpool with perfect chance to give Arne Slot what he deserves. Mohamed Salah's words may have hit the headlines over the past week, but Liverpool will always be about more than just one player, writes Andy Dunn. This is a story about Dean Saunders, chicken, steak, fish, and the Liverpool ethos. Pre-season 1991, Sweden, team hotel. Ronnie Moran is taking meal orders from the players and backroom staff. 10 for steak, 8 for chicken, 6 for fish. Squads were not as big in those days. Dino has ordered steak, but when the food comes out, the chicken looks more appetizing. He has one of those. Saunders had only signed a week or two ago for a British record £2.9 million from relegated Derby County. As the dinner order inquest begins, Saunders confesses, claiming an innocent mistake. Ronnie reckons otherwise. "Ah, there you go. There's a shock. You're at a proper club now, son. That's selfish. And by the way, you will take that on the pitch with you. You will be selfish on the pitch. You have nicked someone's chicken." Saunders loved Moran and loves telling that story when explaining what made Liverpool a great club. Under Graham Souness, Saunders only had one season at Anfield, but never forgot the principle that underpinned everything the club did. The same principle applies at every club, but Saunders never knew it to be enforced with such passion and discipline as it was at Liverpool. There are far too many compelling testimonies from current and former Liverpool players to believe Mohamed Salah is selfish. The latest came from Luis Diaz, who recalled Salah's welcoming words, "If ever you need my help, I'm here for you." And that is typical. Harvey Elliott, for example, has told a similar tale. Speak to his teammates past and present, and no one has Salah down as some sort of egotistical prima donna, but there is no denying it has all been about him recently. He made it that way with his comments after the match at Elland Road, and he made it that way with his theatrical lap of the stadium after the win over Brighton. Arne Slot pointed out the fact that other players toured the ground to show their gratitude. True, but none did it as slowly and as melodramatically as Salah. He was always going to be the last to leave the field. An immediate reaction to the acclaim given to Salah was to dismiss the idea fans would show any disapproval of his post-Leeds comments. They clearly don't hold his under-the-bus tirade against him. But on reflection, it is hard not to wonder what Slot made of the adulation for Salah. Publicly, he would say he was happy about it, and even privately, it probably did not bother him one iota. But it is an interesting dynamic. In any future differences of opinion between the manager and his marquee player, it is not a given that the former will have overwhelming support. Slot, though, is known to have the overwhelming backing of those in the ownership group, and now would be a good time to see emphatic proof of that backing. Now would be a good time for Slot and the club to agree on a new long-term contract, not because it would send some sort of message to Salah that Slot's position has not been undermined, although that would be a positive byproduct, but because Slot is the right fit for Liverpool, a manager who gets the club, a character who seems capable of creating a dynasty. It was something of a surprise that Slot and Fenway Sports Group did not sort out a new deal last summer, both as a reward for his Premier League winning campaign and as confirmation that the owners are convinced he is the leader for the long term. But doing it now would be a smart move, not least because it would show that despite the hero worship of one player in particular on Saturday, the most important figure at Anfield was in the technical area.
Wayne Rooney likens Enzo Maresca to Mohamed Salah after Chelsea comments. Enzo Maresca raised eyebrows in the Stamford Bridge press room after Chelsea's 2-0 win over Everton when he claimed that the previous 48 hours had been the worst of his Blues' reign. Wayne Rooney likened Enzo Maresca's comments in a press conference over the weekend to Mohamed Salah's remarks in the Elland Road mixed zone earlier this month. Maresca raised eyebrows in the Stamford Bridge press room after Chelsea's 2-0 win over Everton when he claimed that the previous 48 hours had been the worst of his Chelsea reign. Maresca told reporters, "The last 48 hours have been the worst 48 hours since I joined the club because many people didn't support us." Many interpreted that comment as Maresca firing shots in the direction of his bosses after Chelsea went on a 4-game run without a win leading up to the game against Everton. Rooney addressed Maresca's comments in a new episode of his BBC podcast and suggested that the Chelsea head coach's remarks were premeditated, just as Salah's seemed to be in the Elland Road mixed zone earlier this month, when the Egyptian claimed that Liverpool had thrown him under the bus after a run of 3 Premier League games in which he was left out of the starting lineup. For me, it was very similar to the Mo Salah situation last week, where it was very premeditated, Rooney said. He knows exactly what he is saying and who he is aiming it at, and the board and owners at Chelsea will know it is aimed at them. You've got to respect the owners of a football club. They employ you and bring you in, so it's their way, and I feel he's gone a bit against that. It is something that's clearly happened, whether it's a disagreement or he feels his job is under pressure and he doesn't feel it should be because of the 2 trophies he's won and the points he's picked up. I don't feel like he's a manager that will backtrack. He has got a passion about him and a drive about him, whether he's heard things like the club might want him out and he's been proactive to go on the front foot. You don't know why he's done it. It's very strange. I don't think he'll get the protection now he's come out and done what he has done. That will be very difficult for the club to come and protect him, which is a shame.
Champions League winner slams Jamie Carragher in impassioned Mohamed Salah defense. Jamie Carragher was outspoken in his criticism of Mohamed Salah following the Egyptian's controversial comments in the Elland Road mixed zone at the start of the month. Jamie Carragher has come in for a hammering from former Chelsea midfielder John Obi Mikel over his remarks surrounding the Mohamed Salah situation over the last week or so. Carragher was outspoken in his criticism of Salah following the Egyptian's controversial comments in the Elland Road mixed zone at the start of the month. In a memorable tirade on Sky Sports Monday Night Football, 2 days after Liverpool's 3-3 draw with Leeds, Carragher accused Salah of speaking out to cause maximum damage, while also saying that Salah arrived at Liverpool known as the man who failed at Chelsea. Carragher's comments have drawn fierce criticism from former Chelsea player Mikel, who said, "We are talking about Liverpool here. We are talking about the Premier League, and you have somebody sat there in the studio criticizing Mo Salah and saying Mo Salah has never won the Africa Cup of Nations. That's a failure, criticizing him. He's qualified for 2 World Cups, but he hasn't won the Africa Cup of Nations. What's that got to do with the Premier League? What's that got to do with what we're talking about? For some reason, why do you talk about Mo Salah being a failure at Chelsea? People fail. It's about how you get the F up. Look what he's done since he failed at Chelsea. You learn more from failure. You get better from failure. It's how you get up when you fall, when you're down there. And Mo Salah did that after Chelsea. He got up, he became stronger, and became a better player. For somebody to criticize a young player at his early stages, to call that a failure, and that's just coming from somebody that never won anything near what Mo Salah won. Carragher did not win the Premier League, did not win anything with his national team, abandoned his national team honestly because he wasn't playing, and yet you are the player that is criticizing somebody for speaking out that he wants to play, but you were tired because you were not playing. You quit because you were not playing. Mo Salah does not want to quit when it's tough, when it's difficult. He wants to be there and get the team out of this sticky patch, help the team, get the team back to where it belongs. That's what you call a true leader, a true champion. Do I condone what Salah did? Not all of it, but has he earned the right to say, "I want to play football"? Yes. Liverpool's sensational target is back on the market. One of the best targets available to Liverpool is now back on the market. Here's their chance to do something special. Liverpool will be in the market for center backs in 2026. There's not really any choice there after how 2025 has gone. The Reds hoped to add Mark Gahey to their squad for one. They'd all but agreed a deal to sign him from Crystal Palace too, only for the Eagles to collapse the deal right at the last moment. Now, that didn't necessarily leave Liverpool short, as they still had 4 senior center-back options. Giovanni Leone's knee injury changed things, though. The squad has just 3 options available to them, and Joe Gomez has struggled with fitness, often leaving the squad with 2. On top of that, Ibrahima Konaté's contract expires at the end of the season, and Liverpool are struggling to agree terms for a new one. The door couldn't really be open any wider for a new defender to come in then, and one of Liverpool's best options appears to be back on the market. Dayot Upamecano could leave Bayern Munich. Foot Mercato reports that Dayot Upamecano could leave Bayern Munich after all. The Frenchman is also out of contract this summer, but it had been reported that he was remaining in Bavaria. Instead, the suggestion here is that both Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid are keen to sign Upamecano and would offer him a lot more money than Bayern can. The latter haven't actually met his requirements, while PSG have made it clear that they would be willing to. Liverpool have also been linked with a move for Upamecano, though they're not mentioned in the FM report. His form this season with Bayern has been fantastic, driving up his negotiating power and potentially making it very difficult for anyone to sign him. The club offering the most lands him ultimately, and there's a feeling that he could be the most in demand of all the center backs on the market. After all, Upamecano is doing it at a top club in a top league. He's about as proven as it gets, while he's also in great form. We wouldn't hold our collective breath on this signing then. Still, Liverpool may surprise, especially if Konaté indicates he's leaving.
Club ready to agree €30 million midfield transfer. The latest reports claim one club is ready to allow their star player to join Liverpool for just €30 million. Ever since that spectacular summer in 2023, which saw 4 midfielders join the Reds, and on top of that, Trey Nyoni arrive as well, the club has neglected the midfield department. Sure enough, Arne Slot did try to bolster it in his first year. Martin Zubimendi was courted, but ultimately, Richard Hughes's efforts to lure him to Anfield were not successful. It's fair to say, Liverpool also haven't needed a refresh in the last 2 years. Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai, and Alexis McAllister have all grew into their roles. Wataru Endo has also been a very useful backup player. But now it feels like 2026 will be a time when we see more midfielders arrive at the club. Endo is getting towards the end of his career, and even as a deputy he cannot be trusted, especially as he has started to accrue more injuries this season. Gravenberch alone cannot hold the fort in the holding midfield department. Meanwhile, Szoboszlai cannot be expected to be the only runner with the intensity he has in midfield. So, Liverpool have got to be looking elsewhere. They have to rejuvenate their options, and it feels like someone who would tick that profile is Kees Smit. The AZ Alkmaar midfielder comes from a club Slot knows well, having managed the Dutch side in the Eredivisie. Smit is a very technical midfielder. He's cultured in the best sense. He's a great ball carrier, and he covers a lot of ground. The intensity that he plays with and the aggressiveness is very similar to Szoboszlai. At the same time, he's great at arriving in the box, has the technique to be a fantastic midfielder in the build-up, and just become a perfect all-around midfielder. Only 19 years old, he feels like a project signing, and that's absolutely what he's going to be. But Liverpool have done really well investing in the Eredivisie recently. Cody Gakpo turned out to be a success. Before him, Luis Suarez was also a major success. The Reds don't often tend to sign players from that league, but when they do, it works out pretty well. So this is why it's interesting that Smit is on Liverpool's radar. According to Ekrem Kanur, Alkmaar are also ready to agree €30 million for their star player, which would make Smit an absolute bargain. After all, he's not just catching the eye against Eredivisie sides. He's done well in Europe and across youth international competitions. Smit has been instrumental in winning Alkmaar the UEFA Youth League, and he's long been regarded as one of the best young midfielders in European football. To sign him for just €30 million would be an extremely smart deal for Liverpool. It's the kind of deal Edwards and Hughes would get praised for over and over again.
Hugo Ekitike reveals Liverpool dressing room view on Mo Salah controversy. Mohamed Salah made his comeback with Liverpool during their 2-0 win over Brighton on Saturday, and Hugo Ekitike benefited from an assist from his teammate at Anfield. Hugo Ekitike has hailed Mohamed Salah as a great professional after he returned to the Liverpool team on Saturday. Salah was introduced as an early substitute against Brighton, a day after holding talks with Arne Slot following a falling out between the two over his explosive comments last weekend. Having been an unused substitute in the 3-3 draw at Leeds, Salah unloaded to reporters, accusing Slot of throwing him under the bus while saying he no longer had any relationship with the Liverpool manager. He was subsequently left out of the squad that went to play Inter Milan on Tuesday, but was brought back for the Brighton game. An injury to Joe Gomez saw Slot turn to Salah in the 26th minute, and he responded with an assist in a 2-0 win. It was Ekitike who benefited from his pinpoint corner, having already put Liverpool ahead in the first minute. And the Frenchman was clear in his assessment of his teammate post-match. "Mohamed is a great professional," he said. "I look to him as an example. You can see how much he is involved in goals and assists. He is a legend here. To share the pitch is a blessing. That's the kind of player who makes us like to watch football." Ekitike was unmarked at the back post to head in his second of the game in the 60th minute. It was Salah who swung in that corner, and Ekitike added, "He gave me a great ball. I just had to be in a good place. It was easy to finish. I was looking for the hat trick, but it is going to be another time. It was good, 2 goals. We try to stick together and work together. Today wasn't easy. We had to stay compact and stick together. I think we deserved it. We did a great week, and let's continue. When you play for Liverpool, you just have to win games. We are Liverpool. We need to win." Asked about Salah, Slot said, "I think he was a threat. The first ball he touched, he almost made an assist for Alexis McAllister. He was constantly involved in the fact we had Mo. Pleasing to see, but not a surprise. It was an easy decision to put him in the squad. I have said many times before, what has been said between us will stay between us. We needed him, and he assisted for the 2-0, which is nice for us. We have been so many times this season on the wrong side of the set-piece battle. He goes to the AFCON, and that means for us another player down. This is what we knew before the season started. Hopefully, 1 or 2 players can come back from injury."